So, something happened to the recording session I had before. I think I misplaced it. Shoot, I didn't think that would actually save it though. Oops. Hey, interwebs, this is JackitK. Welcome back to my playthrough of Celeste. Last time in our adventures, we went over to the Celestial Resort. On our climb up, we found a friend that needed help. But things didn't really go as planned. Kinda like my day. So we're just stuck in a situation that all we can really do is keep climbing forward. That's what I'm gonna do today when we go for the Golden Ridge. You may have noticed I got some stuff already. Thing is, I did have a recording session already for part of Chapter 4 for some... But let's just say it got lost. I thought I could just end that chapter and wouldn't save anything, but of course I'm wrong about that. It's okay, we'll improvise. Think as long as I just go on my way for faded out strawberries, it will be mechanically the same playthrough it was before. Did I get... Just had to make sure there wasn't a strawberry over there. Also, I realized my death counter is going to be incredibly inflated because of stuff like this. I do have a story in my head that I want to go through. Perfect for this occasion as things not going wrong, tying into how my emotional state kind of relates to the enjoyment I get out of this game. Oh! Of course, I'm searching so hard for the strawberry that I already got. I get one I didn't get. And give or take a few dozen. It'll be a little more accurate that way. Oh, great. You again. Well, I didn't expect to see you up here. Glad to see you're still in one piece. I see you made for the hotel. Did you meet Mr. Orosho? Oh, I met him alright. He chased me out of there after I cleaned up a bunch of junk for him. Oh, that sounds like a fun morning. Rachel's a lost soul, dear. That place is much more than just a hotel to him. Don't make him your project. Oh yeah, I forgot. Mr. Orosho, the owner of the hotel, is a ghost. You know what I think? I think this mountain drove the both of you crazy. You know, you're not the first person to say that. Maybe you're right. How would I know if I were crazy? The way I see it, the mountain can't bring out anything that's already inside you. But you gotta be a few crows short of a murderer to live up here in the first place, right? What are you even talking about? Oh, I'm just rambling like the old bat I am. Are you ready to give up? I know a shortcut back to your car. Back off, lady. I'm heading for the summit. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between stubbornness and determination, isn't it? You remind me of myself when I was young. Oh. Good luck, and mine to win. Mind the hint. Yeah. You know how every one of these levels has had a gimmick so far? I'll admit I've practiced some of the later levels just because it's been so long between recording sessions that I was afraid I'd forget how to play the game. Some of these levels aren't as easy as others. Chapter 3 is not the hardest level in this game. I still kind of stand by the fact that it's one of the more annoying mechanics. Oh, you know, I should probably get the strawberry again, just to show how to get them for yourself. I may have gotten them for my own personal gain already, but it just doesn't feel fair to to at least not get them on screen at least once. Oops, oops. I guess that's how you do the levels. Act like you're screwing up when you're succeeding, and the game can't tell the difference. I gotta keep that whole mindset in check. This whole, oh, I can control luck, has kind of gotten to me. That's kind of part of why my days away has been. I'm not gonna get into the whole details because I'll admit, if I go into everything that was wrong today, it'll sound kind of petty. So I'll just get to the point. I get very caring, let's just say, about my time. So sometimes when things don't go as planned, they make me upset. And I'll admit, I thought I had things a lot more under control. Do I have to get this one now? It took me forever and a half to do this. And I'm right in the middle of an important thought. Maybe if I focus, it won't be too hard. It's basically, don't touch the ground. Apparently I touched the ground. Wait, that didn't count as touching the ground? Wow, I think I just made this a ton easier for myself. Is it just my imagination, or does this stamina go by really fast? There we go. It took me not talking for a little bit, but I did that with relatively little struggle. Now to take care of the B-side, and maybe that'll buy me enough time to get my train of thought back together. Oh. Not the level design, mind you, it's the music. Mind you, that doesn't mean that this is going to be any easier. Bump. Maybe if I could concentrate for 2 seconds, I can get back on the train of thought that I don't so desire. Dun 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 bum bum ba dun dun We got a time the dash that I make to the rhythm of the level, interchanging, intertwining. Maybe then I can get my groove all together. Till you know it's gonna be a mess, just like the singing to this song, just a mess. Total mess it is indeed. That's why I gotta try to succeed. Don't know. Oh no. Maybe I can. Maybe I am looking at this all wrong. When I try for one thing, I end up getting another. Maybe I can use it to my advantage and make a thing come out different way. Maybe, just maybe I can just do a little more. Yes, maybe I can do something a little different. Make a new plan and try again. And try again. One jump here and done to share. Maybe one day I'll be prepared. Make it work and do the best and try to make this all sense. It's a complete, total and completely nonsense. Rhythm and all the sing, but somehow I will succeed. And there we go. Didn't realize you could listen to the music before going ahead. Maybe I shouldn't though, because part of the surprise of going to the B-sides I had planned was actually with the B-side levels itself. Okay. Now how do I get back, or do I just gotta start over? Story time! So yeah, I often feel overwhelmed, like I don't have enough time to do anything. I know we all feel that way, to be honest, but it's kind of been getting to me lately. So this can all be boiled down to, essentially, on that day, there's a lot of stress on myself to try to plan things out and be as efficient with my time and money as possible, and it backfired. I'm not even sure why yet, but for some reason that just made me lose control of myself, thinking negatively of myself and others, and I'm honestly ashamed of it. So I was spending a lot of time this day thinking about all that in my life, wondering if I actually improved at all, or if I was in the same boat as I was when I was very young. Now, where was I before I got interrupted for the umpteenth millionth time? To procrastinate telling this personal story even more, I don't think I've ever properly went over the mechanics of this block. You land on it and it goes to the direction it's facing. Some of these that you can actually influence the direction they go by moving up and down the control stick, and if they hit a wall for too long, then they basically explode whether you're on it or not. And while it doesn't hurt you to have it explode in that, it can obviously detriment you terribly if that's like your only means of transportation. Worst part, now that I know it's there, I gotta go for it, because it's right there, it's not out of the way at all, and in my head it seems simple. But maybe it'd be for the best if I just get one strawberry at a time, that way if I fail, I don't have to do both of them each time. Yeah, maybe I'll do that this particular attempt. Now if I can get over here just fine, it should be smooth sailing from there. Yeah, it may seem a bit longer, but considering how many times I have to redo that section trying to get it correctly, this is probably the more efficient route for me personally. Now, speaking of personally, if you couldn't tell, it's very hard for me to talk personally about myself, especially on the online setting where pretty much anyone can hear what you're up to. However, considering the type of game this is, I do feel it's important for me to talk about these sorts of things, because a lot of my fondness for the game is directly tied to the personal experiences I've had throughout my life. Long story short, I'm a very introverted person, and my socialization skills pretty much gone through a phase where, as a kid, it was really bad. In my adolescence, young adult age, I finally felt like I was overcoming it, because around the time I started LPing and actually reaching out to people, if only through the internet. And finally, when I've gotten to adulthood, when I realized the harsh realities of life, I feel like I kind of backpedaled on those outlets, that mindset a little. If I'm gonna be fair, I've improved in some ways since even the middle age days. But in other ways I feel like I've gone backwards in socialization, skills, and trust. In a lot of ways I always feel a little bit been feeling a little messed up mentally. I have a few theories. I know, like when I was a kid, I was diagnosed with Asperger's. According to the doctors, though, it was like a very minor degree of it. Like to the point where I kind of felt a little guilty about even using the term. I only bring it up because I think it kind of like ties into the whole like iffiness over self-control thing that I was bringing up earlier. It's just real hard to describe without coming off like entitled or spoiled or something like that, which I swear is not. But basically, I don't even remember this story, I just remember being told it all the time. I was a kid, like a lot of people, and I kind of just had a situation where the fire alarm went off at our elementary school, and I got really upset, like crying, bawling, like to the point where I could not move, and the teacher had to carry me out. It wasn't over like noise though, or something that a normal person would be upset over. I was upset because I was in the middle of working on something, and I had to stop to leave the building and do the whole task of a fire drill. I think that's the most crazy part about all of it. It feels like every time I think I've finally gotten over it, or something inspirational has entered my life, to the point where I'm not a complete emotional wreckage, kinda just feels like it comes back. Well, did I really get all this already? I did get this stuff down here already, right? I think those were those 2 strawberries I got before. Yep. You know, for the fun of it, I think I'll get this again. So, like, over time, as I've gotten older, I guess another part of my quote-unquote disability, socialization was never something that came natural to me. I always had to pretty much teach myself. As you can see from how I am stuttering over this awkward situation, I guess I still have a ways to go, things to learn, and all that. But when I get down and really think about it, I have improved in a lot of ways. Did I get dismissal? Oh yeah, this was the first thing I did before I went on this tangent. So as I gotten older, I've learned how to do this sort of stuff and actually make use of things a bit more. But then adulthood came, and that was actually a pretty good, accurate representation of what happened. Because I thought childhood was rough. Adulthood had another thing coming for me. I can't even think of what was exactly so wrong with it, just utter the fact that it happened. Like, the point where I was in high school one day, sitting, realizing that life as I knew it was over, and that actually got me a little sad on the inside. It's also around the time that my body started physically acting up too. And it just sucked, man, like... For those of you who don't know, I guess I'll admit this is another thing that I kind of just tend to keep personal and all. I actually have a form of arthritis, ankylospondylitis. Bring that up because that was probably when my body started acting crap physically. And I swear I'm going to go off every tangent to avoid talking about the real issue as much as possible, but... basically, like, I really started getting joint pains. And just physically limping in certain situations a lot. During my college years, to the point where, like, there was a period of time that I was actually in a wheelchair. And that was just not a fun experience for any party involved. At first I thought it was just related to an accident I had in high school. It was like on a summer vacation, like, I was never really a person that was fond of risk either. Like, if something seemed like... I never was really much of a frills person. I always considered it an unnecessary risk. Eck. And I think as a result, I've just always been more of a cautious person because of that. So of course, the one time I decided to do something reckless and have fun, it bites me in the butt hard. So we were on this camping trip. There was this huge hill, and I rode a bike down the hill. It was fun. So I did it again, and then I did it again, a little faster. And I think you can see where this is going. Kept going faster and faster down this hill to the point where I lost control of my bike. I couldn't put on the brakes fast enough. Freaking wiped out on the bottom of that hill to the point I compound fractured my arm. And like, vacation was pretty much ruined for everyone involved. I bring all that up because at first, when I started to notice the pains, I thought maybe somehow it was related to that. Because, like, it would make sense if I broke my arm that day, that I might have broken something else in the process. I'll admit, though, I never really brought it up. Went from doctor to doctor trying to figure out what the joint pain was all about. To the point where I even had like one doctor tell me like I had like some weird thing with my feet, so I got surgery on my foot and put a metal plate in and everything, and like that's so now I have freaking metal stuck in both my arms and my foot. My life just sucks. The fact I can laugh at it, I guess, is like a sign though. Anyways, there's a lot of different ways I can go with this story, so what the heck was I trying to think of next? I guess the whole point was that stuff they did on my feet was pointless, because as I mentioned before, I eventually got a second opinion from another doctor, and that's how I found out about the ankle spondylitis problem. Yeah, I started taking medication for that, and things have been better. Still have times where I have bad back pain and that, especially in the rain and all. So it does suck a lot. Oh, I'm dumb. I think I know how to get that strawberry I keep messing up. Don't mind me, like, I think I might have gotten allergies sometime. Like, I never had to deal with allergies growing up. However, it's very possible that my medication has made it a thing. Because one of the side effects of it is the lowering of my immune system. I don't know if it's really good to call it a side effect though, because that's kind of what's supposed to happen with it. Because the reason for my ankle spondylitis is, from what the doctors told me, my immune system works too good. I guess like instead of allergies, where your body overreacts, so you get like sick symptoms even when you're not sick. This arthritis kind of acts in a similar way, but with your joints. Well, almost fine I didn't make that there. So, all that sucks. It's gotten better. Had to go for a lot before I got this sorted out, like part-time job at Kmart probably been a lot better if I wasn't struggling just to tie my own shoes. I don't remember the exact details for that, but I remember like there's a lot of times I got sucked because like I was stuck doing things I probably shouldn't have been doing, like lifting a bunch of shipping stuff because electronics people had their own thing to do. A whole bunch of stuff about that. And I could probably go on and on in different tangents, but the point is things are better. Maybe someday they'll actually be really good. I gotta have hope. I'm a lot more physically active these days than I pretty much ever been my entire life. And I gotta give myself credit, give myself hope that those things will kind of help all that physical stuff as well. But honestly, even all that hasn't really doesn't really shake a finger to the whole mental state that I'm having. And that kind of ties me back to last night. Usually, like, I got things under control. There are very rare occasions, though, that make me question if everything I've been working for really matters. Like, I feel like I go all the way back to step 0, if you know what I mean. And tonight was unfortunately one of those nights. I'll admit, like, I was doing this event in the Pokemon Go game where that I usually get something good, but I didn't. I know it sounds really bad saying like that, but I swear there's more to it. I was stressing out all day trying to figure out how I would manage my time, because I felt like I had way too much to get done in this particular day. And I gave myself just enough time to actually get things done. But it didn't really work out. And instead of just spending like an hour or two, I got caught up trying to do things for others, and it just ended the whole situation of like, I gotta keep going. Not getting the thing I wanted was part of it, but just another part was just like keeping up with. We could have like gone straight to town and saved a little bit of time, but part of our group couldn't go there, so we went to another area that was like out of the way for us, but along the way for them. And dang, I'm gonna finish. I don't care how long this is. I'm gonna finish this story before I end off the episode. And we weren't even halfway through all of that. So it just ended up like something that I was planning on spending a couple hours at most ended up taking like half the evening. And I was already stressed out just worrying about like how would people at home react with me being gone so long, and how would I manage with the rest of my weekend with that being with that time loss, and who would get mad at me, and who would I disappoint, and like all that just overwhelmed me. I thought I was doing fine because I was just like laughing, joking it off, and stuff like that, to the point like, sure, I was mad, but I was controlling. I was even having fun with it at the time. But as soon as it was over, as soon as I was away from my friends, I just lost control of myself. I knew like the things I was doing were bad. My subconscious was driving my actions at the time, and that was pretty much saying, anyone I encounter here on forward doesn't deserve my patience. So specifically on the road, granted no one was hurt or threatened by anything I did, but the fact that I felt like a lower half of me to control of actions that really should be left to logic and not emotion. Especially when I was thinking that those actions were wrong. That was the part that really alarmed me. I just sucked, because I know I should be better than that. But I failed. Kinda like how I'm failing the level. And I know this is a really deep and personal story. Something I would never really even bring up. But I feel like it's important to talk about things a little bit more personally with a playthrough like this. Cause that's just... this game's like a little bit of therapeutic. If I could talk. A little bit therapeutic. It lets me do this thing with my brain where I actually don't feel alone and not angry. The word that's associated with that sort of feeling. Because I thought I had enough water to make myself be able to talk, but apparently I did not. And I think just like my personal state kind of ties into why this game feels relatable to me. Maybe as the plot unfolds a bit more, it'll make more sense. If I can remember the fact that I went into all this about myself, I can actually remember to actually talk more about it a little bit later on. Oh man, I had the right idea, but I just jumped a little too short. Anywho, and I feel like I could go on with this. I feel like I should go on with it, but I can't quite remember how I should go on to it, or what point I really need to bring up from there. So, it's a bit overwhelming of a story, so I'll just end it off there. I guess at the end of the day though, the moral of the story is I'm surviving, so you can too. Hopefully, like, I know there's people that go through tenfold worse of the stuff compared to even myself. And I don't want to just say I know you can do it because I've done something similar, because for some people that just makes things worse. I know even I have like times where I don't want to be compared to someone else. I just need to do me. And I'm not sure if it's a little too early to talk about it, but even some of the elements we've seen as early as Chapter 2 I can find a bit relatable. And that nagging part that's inside oneself, that just tells you can't do things. The more I played this game, the more relatable that was. Oh! Oh, that was an accident. But I'll take it. I swear. If after all that I find out that this is like a strawberry that I got quote-unquote off screen, no, it's a new one. I'll be a little salty. No, anyways, we've been going... My recording says 24 minutes, and I know like the past part's gonna be at least 10. So that's definitely long enough. So I think after I get the strawberry... Why? Why did I do that? I had it. It was right there. I'm gonna blame sweaty thumbs. That's a gross excuse, but I'm sticking to it. And you know, that was actually a surprisingly easy strawberry. Speaking of surprises, like there really isn't anything right here. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna just... Here we go. I'm gonna end it off here, because it feels like it's gonna just keep going on and on as I keep unraveling more and more. So, take care.